Hello everyone, Leslie Hassler here from Your Biz Rules Business Coaching with coaching from the Carpool. It's been a really long day. It's my NABA day, so I'm on the board. So we have board meeting, then we have the networking meeting, and then it's a great networking meeting when nobody gets up to leave. So there's always great conversations afterwards. So that's got me a little more spiffy than I've been on some of the past days, but happy to be back with you. And we've been kind of going through these 10 building blocks of a successful business. And so if you're just catching today's Facebook Live for the first time, welcome. Hi. I'm so happy to have you here. If you're one of my repeat viewers already, it's so funny. We're on day eight. And I've had at least once a day, I have somebody come up and talk about, hey, I saw you on coaching from the Carpool. And everyone thinks it's really a lot of fun. So, hey, Brianna, see, Brianna's back again. So I'm really excited that you're here. So if you remember, we've been talking about these building blocks of a successful business. We started off with the niche, the all powerful and mighty niche. We talked about commitment to succeed. We talked about the voodoo that you do so well, meaning really just the power that you bring to your business, and that it's that one thing that makes your business not have any competition when you stand so strong in the voodoo that you do so well. We talked about the magnetic message, like what's attracting people, right? And attracting clients, because that's a full-time job in and of itself. We talked about money-making methods and money-making models. Whew, I don't know about you, but that's a lot, right? So that's the first 7. We're on number 8. I don't know. I need to come up with some cute rhyme for 8. But 8 is really about expansion techniques. 8 is 8, right? There's 7 other numbers that come before 8. And the reason why I am laughing about this a little bit is because people jump to this step really, really fast. We all want to be successful. We all want to work as highly leveraged as we can. However, sometimes we tend to skip over those first 7 steps to get to 8. And so if you think about expansion techniques, what are expansion techniques? Well, an expansion technique might be opening up another office, another, brick and mortar store. If you're a medical office, another branch. Okay. That might be one way to do it. So here's what's really interesting. If you don't have everything absolutely nailed down, and not just nailed down, your first 1 through 7, but really understand and remember what it's like to start a business and how long it actually takes to get traction and how much cash flow that you need, then you can cut off your nose to spite your face. And let me give you an example. So think about Best Buy. I need to look up how long it's been. Maybe about 5-7 years ago. They went through a massive kind of expansion of opening up a store on every other corner type of a thing. If you remember this, it didn't last long. I think it was maybe a 6-month venture, and suddenly they had a complete retraction. Well, they retracted smaller than they were before the expansion. All right, now a lot of things go into this, but maybe I can get this one kind of concept across to you. Growth does not equal profit, and profit does not equal cash. All right, so growth does not equal profit, and growth doesn't equal cash, just by the pure nature. Growth can capsize a business. All right, if you haven't put together a plan to support the growth, and the money to go along with it. Like, money is just a constant factor in really keeping a successful business successful. So a lot of times when people head into this expansion technique, they're trying to expand their business, and they have this expectation that cash is just going to come, and it doesn't always. I was talking with one, I love talking to business owners and asking what's working, what's not working, or talking about growth and just really getting a good story build, I guess, of this. And this is a business owner that was talking about growth strategies that he had put into his company, and the fact that they started these growth strategies 18 months ago, year and a half ago, guys, and they're just starting to see the cash. All right, so that's the funny thing about growing a business, all right? I often say that growth is a fickle mistress because she's very fickle, right? You have to know how to almost coax it and control it without killing it. It's a very nuanced dance when it comes to doing it in a way that's sustainable. So, this expansion techniques really can kill you if you don't do it A, at the right time, and B, in the right way. Let me give another example of expansion techniques. And if you've got a few ideas of what some expansion techniques are, put them down below for sure. So one way, and this relates a little bit to our discussion yesterday about those business making models, okay, where we talked about low price, low volume, and all the way to high price, high volume, and the matrix, right? Internet marketing. I've spent 3 years, 4 years, and a lot of money in internet marketing. And the reason why, and I'll be really honest, when I started this business coaching business and coming out of the design and construction business, I was kind of people burned out. I was tired of having 9 or 10 appointments in a day and driving all over the city and never being done. And so I wanted a highly leveraged type of model, and I fell into the hype. My friend Rebecca Liston wrote an article, and I'll reshare it so you can find it on my stream. But she said, "But the age of the guru is dead," and we're now looking at allies and partners and just a different way of doing some of the online marketing that we've been so used to seeing. So I bought into it. I really did. It made good business math. You hear me yesterday. That's all I was talking about, right? It makes good business math. And I probably sunk, if I didn't even count my time, like just money, I probably sunk a good 50 grand into it, and it netted me $1,000. Like I made $1,000 off of 50 grand. So here's a couple of reasons why it didn't work. All right, I'm giving you my own personal, I sunk $50,000 in 3 years of my life into an expansion technique that didn't work. And here's a couple of reasons and how I really understood fully why it didn't work and why it's not always the best thing for people to jump straight into. Number one is most of the people out there telling you that they're making business online, they are. Let's be honest. They're not making as much as they used to. In fact, they're drastically not as successful as they used to because the market has shifted. We've become used to it where we understand the sales techniques, so we recognize them and don't necessarily react to them in the same way. Well, those same businesses didn't build that business, that formula that you're being sold online. They built it offline. And it took them 3-5 years before they could make the jump online. That's the key, and what you don't always see is that they built a momentum base. They built a client base first that could supply volume so that they could become that low price, high volume type of business. So remember yesterday I was talking about service-based businesses, and really you should start off at high price, low volume type of things. Well, that's one of those expansion techniques. If once you've got that solid, right, that might be a 3 to 5 year kind of adventure, unless you just happen to be one of the lucky people that just takes off like a rocket. But that's when you bring in that expansion technique, right? Because it takes a lot of volume and a lot of cash to pay for the volumes, because you're really starting to play a numbers game. Like if you look at the conversion percentages and just dig it down, the amount of scale that you need, like for instance, let's just look at the standard conversions, okay? 10,000 people have to see your webinar. I think it's 10,000 people have to see your webinar promotion in order for 10 people to show. I mean, that's kind of the scale that we're talking about. So that's why certain expansion techniques won't work for you early on in the business until you have actually got volume. You've got reliability, you've got cash stability, your niche is solid, okay, and you've got those things. So another kind of expansion technique might be to diversify markets. So let's say you work with plumbers and you do, I don't know, you do web design for plumbers, and you know plumbers inside and out, and that's a very successful business. So you're like, well, wow, if plumbers need me, then lawn care needs me. That's where I'm going to go. Well, that's it's a good opportunity for a expansion technique. But then if you don't start back over at niche and really redefine who your new client is, then that stuff's not going to work. All right, so there's a lot of things that you have to take into consideration. I'm going to give you a couple of other expansion techniques, courtesy of Google, actually entrepreneur.com. So it's not just me. Open the other location. We talked about that. Open up a business as a franchise or a business opportunity. I kind of like this one, and let me give you a story to go alongside of it. So not one of my clients, but the story is so valuable, I like to share it. So it happened to be a car wash, okay, a car wash that wanted to expand, and their thought was, I'm going to do a franchise on car washes, right? I'm going to get people in here, and I'm going to sell the franchise. I'm going to develop all this training material and all this stuff, just to be able to do this franchise model. Well, that's a lot of investment, all right? You're investing your time, money into product, into documentation, into all of these things, plus then you support, okay? Remember those expansion techniques, make sure you fully think them through. Well, this is Brad Sugar's story, so attributive action coach, Brad Sugar's, but Brad talks about the fact that he worked with this business owner to really say, well, why are you successful? What is it that makes you have that secret sauce? Well, for this car wash, really one of the most profitable things they had was wax. And you're like, okay, wax. Well, they happened to do their own wax. And they were amazing at upselling wax. I know this is really simple. The good business stuff is really simple. So the business idea switched, that expansion, right, that switched was something, instead of developing all the franchise and everything that goes along with that, they sold the wax and the technique of being able to upsell it, because it was almost pure profit for any car wash. Can you see how the market just totally expanded with that? The market, it's a heck of a lot easier, right? It's a new product offering that's a heck of a lot easier to sell, and therefore has a greater propensity to make it through the volume and to provide a cash flow. So when you're looking at expansion techniques, it's that, I guess, a little bit of being smart and really looking for leverage and understanding the choices that you're making for growth and for cash and how that all kind of plays together. Because, like I said, I'd hate to see you grow yourself out of a business. That's no fun. That's almost as least fun than not having any money to grow in the first place. So use expansion techniques when your business is solid, when you can sustain another growth cycle of a second business. The one thing, I'm going to give you one more story. I'm into stories today. Is that okay if I do that? Well, I'm going to give you this one story. It was an expansion technique. Again, I did it, just letting you know. We're all human, right? We all fail forward in our businesses. But in my interior design business, we started doing staging, all right? And staging it felt like a very complementary type of a business for design. Sounds good, right? Well, it's actually a completely different business model. There was absolutely no leverage that we could gain across outside of just sheer talent and our ability to stage wells. I mean, we were good. I mean, when the market wasn't good, our homes sold in a week. When most things sat for 3 months, we were good. But the business itself was so competitive to my existing business and on such a different scale that in order to get that leverage that would truly have made it $1 million business, I had to choose between the one I really loved or the one that we were good at but I hated. All right, so think about all these things when you're choosing expansion if you're ready. If you're ready, and I caution you to choose things that are smart and easy and profitable fast, or that you understand what the cash cycle will be on that growth and can be prepared to weather the growth of that into a successful business. So That's it today. Tomorrow we're talking about, oh my gosh, we're talking about the sexiest topic in business. And if you've done it, I see my friend Alex Cantaboni's on here watching too, and he'll testify to this, is systems. I actually love systems. Most people don't. I'm going to tell you why you need to start building systems from day one, and how simple it can be, and the ultimate freedom that it gives you. All relies on systems. So, and that's, again, another growth strategy. So that's it for today. I hope that was cool. You liked it? Let me know. You like this? Share it with your friends. I'd happily love to share this message. Give it away all day long. So my name is Leslie Hassler. I'm with Your Biz Rules Business Coaching. And if you are looking for a little more profits, a little more fun, and really being able to do the good work you set out to do, shoot me an email, support@yourbizrules.com. If I can help you, great. If I know someone who can help you better, I'll let you know that too. That's it for today, guys. Have a great afternoon.